Buongiorno! In my last video, we discussed that all fiat currencies loses value over time, right? That's right, all of them. But the US dollar is still the best house in a bad neighbor because every other currency loses value even more than the US dollar, except for one actually, the Singapore currency. It's one of the few currencies that gained against the US dollar for the last 13 years. Now, in the previous video, I talked a lot about the devaluation of the US dollar and the general problems that all of fiat currency have. But today we are actually going to dive deeper into why the US dollar remains the global reserve currency of the world, despite all the prediction of its downfall and the rise of all the other currencies. Some people used to say that the euro was going to be the US dollar biggest competitor, but that actually hasn't exactly worked out. Sure, it's reached its all-time high against the US dollar in 2008, but then the global financial crisis hit, and then the euro started to plummet. It hits its lowest point in 2015, and while it's recovered, it's still not anywhere close to where it was in these golden days. What about the BRICS currency? It was supposed to be a game changer and a new currency backed up by the emergency market by Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. But guess what? It never even got off the ground. That's right. It was doomed from the start. And then there is China, the dragon, with all its economic power and influence. Well, they can't even get their capital out of the country, you know that? They're stuck with their own currency, the Chinese yuan. It's like being trapped in a bad relationship except that there is no way out. What about the Russian ruble? Not even on the radar when it comes to global reserve currency status, especially now. But let's get back to the US dollar. It remains the king of the financial world, and no other currency is even close to taking its crown. It has 59% share of foreign exchange reserve, while China, with the yuan, has only 2.8%. Did you know that? What about the euro? The euro has only 19.7% in foreign exchange reserve. The US dollar is not going anywhere. It will remain the global reserve currency and the global dominant trade currency for at least, I think, the next 30 years. So now you might ask me why the Singapore currency is not the reserve of the world, since it was beating for 13 years the US dollar. Because the US dollar is the most liquid currency in the world, accepted almost everywhere in the globe, which makes it incredibly convenient for international trades. It's the most liquid asset, most liquid currency actually. Remember, all fiat currency loses value over time, all of them, but the US dollar is still the best house in the bad neighbor. I told you that. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.